Initiation can be considered as having two sides, one for black and the other for white. White initiation creates in a man a striving after good as his only aim, with a complete disregard for his own comfort or discomfort. The black has as its object a man who likes evil for the sake of evil itself, even to his own detriment, in the name of his sole principle of evil, lies, and darkness. The first degree of experience is similar for both white and black kinds of initiation. Its aim is to test the equation in the candidate. 1 plus 4 means the ability of fearlessness before unexpected or dangerous things and events coming from the four elements. This means not to be cowardly in the physical realm, nor to lose one's head under any conditions. Here will be used traditional tests. By fire, 1, through which the disciple must pass without fear of being burned. By water, 2, swimming through the rough sea or rivers. By air, 3, when the disciple must ascend to heights and look down from them with nothing but a few square feet to support him. Mountains, precipices, or ship masts are sometimes used for this purpose. By earth, 4, when a man enters narrow subterranean passages without knowing what awaits him at their end, or descends into unknown caves, and so on. Apart from these traditional tests, I also find another kind very useful, which are aimed at the suppression of the so-called mystical fear, such as night visits to lonely cemeteries, haunted houses, and so on. This is because I have seen cases where a man has passed relatively easily through the 4 elementary tests, but still retained a fear of spirits, dead bodies, and their final resting places. Especially so as sometimes around fresh graves, the etheric double of the corpse may be visible on warm nights, even to physical eyes. From my own experience, I have seen this phantom, devoid of all consciousness and otherwise utterly harmless for incarnate men, cause a nervous breakdown in more than one candidate. An initiate cannot possess such a weakness, otherwise he should be eliminated while there is still time. Of course, the foregoing means only physical fear. The second degree of test is similar in both types of initiation. It is the astral experience for fear, lust, and conscience. 1. The candidate is faced with the monstrous astral cliché, aggressive and repulsive in its ugliness beyond all imagination. Some special methods are used in order to facilitate the contact of the pupil with the testing ground in the astral world. 2. After this comes the test for lust and passion. The candidate must be able to suppress sexual desire in himself, even under the most favorable conditions, when nothing stands in the way of the fulfillment of his desire. Here may be distinguished 2 separate phases of the test. The first for the ability to resist the approaching sexual pleasure. The second not to profit from the victory achieved by a man's own efforts over the negative attitude of the other sex, or her initial refusal to yield to his passion. 3. The third test, for conscience, shows the ability on the part of the aspirant to fulfill any confidential order, to observe some law or instruction, to maintain silence about a secret, the non-betrayal of someone's personal intention, all this under conditions of full security and lack of any punishment in the event of failure, as well as in the presence of a great temptation. If, in both schools of magic, that is, white and black, these tests are outwardly similar, their inner character is very different. A white magician has no need to fear any terrible clichés, just because he has to pass through their world towards the principles of light. The same applies to a black magician, but simply because he must be friendly with those dark and voluptuous manifestations. A white magician must attain stamina in his wisdom in order to be certain of the impossibility of failure, while a black one must simply realize that the ability of self-restriction in certain moments gives him a vital superiority over those who cannot restrain themselves. The white must conscientiously fulfill his duties and accept obligations so as to achieve self-perfection and steadiness in the doing of good. The black must simply understand that by persisting in a plan and not yielding to any circumstances, he may be able to inflict more evil, ideologically as well as practically, than if he would act only occasionally and under favorable conditions. Black magicians still have to pass through some tests and take oaths for their faithfulness to evil, which should not be described here.